Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru, and today I'm going to talk about Ready or Not, the latest film by the team over at Radio Silence. And I can already tell some of you out there have your gears turning. Who the hell are Radio Silence? Well, they're the guys behind the final segment of VHS, which I fucking loved, as well as the films The Devil's Due and Southbound. Now, unfortunately, I have mixed feelings about Southbound and The Devil's Due, but both of those movies showed a lot of promise, so these have been filmmakers that I feel like I should have been paying much better attention to because I had no idea they were behind this movie until I sat down to watch it and saw their names show up on screen, so I really should have paid better attention. Anyway, my fellow gorehounds, I'm gonna cut right to the chase here. I loved the hell out of Ready or Not. It is hands down one of my favorite movies I've seen all year, and is definitely some of the most fun I've had in theaters all year. It's like this really weird amalgamation of You're Next, Downton Abbey, Clue, and there's even a little Rosemary's Baby thrown in. And despite all those things feeling completely different, this movie feels incredibly cohesive. It's super funny, it's super bloody, it's got some great acting. In particular, Samara Weaving and Adam Brody totally steal the show, with Samara Weaving being one of the best scream queens to come out of the modern era. Between this movie, The Babysitter, and Mayhem, she is definitely one of those scream queens to look out for. And Adam Brody's one of those guys that I've been a pretty big fan of ever since I first saw him on The OC, which, yeah, the Horror Guru used to watch The OC when he was younger. You wanna fight about it? You wanna throw down, bro? We can do fisticuffs, bro. You wanna fisticuffs, bro? Or maybe you just want to be fisted. But even putting my fanboy love of Adam Brody aside, he really is the heart and soul of this movie for, reasons I can't get into until we get to the spoilers, so you'll have to wait for that. But trust me, he totally is. And on top of all the great acting, this is some of the most gorgeous cinematography that Team Radio Silence has ever produced. And I'm not kidding when I say that every single frame of this movie feels like it should be on some pretentious rich guy's wall, which is quite appropriate given the plot of this movie. Which, for those of you who don't know, the basic premise of Ready or Not is Samara Weaving is trying to join this rich family by marrying their youngest son, but in order to join the family, she must first play this game of hide and seek, but it's not a traditional game of hide and seek. This is way more the most dangerous game, i.e., she is the hunted and they are the hunters, and she must survive until daylight. And naturally, in the lead up to daylight, there's a whole lot of bloodshed and mayhem and comedy to go around. And I just had so much goddamn fun with this, and I can't recommend it enough. It really is the horror movie of the summer. Though truth be told, it might have to battle Midsummer for that title, but it's definitely a worthy contender. Let's see, what else can I talk about before we get to the spoilers? This movie has a total punk rock, eat the rich element to it that totally appeals to my socio-political sensibilities. And just aesthetically, I really love that image of Samara Weaving in that wedding dress covered in blood with that old hunting rifle and that gun belt over her shoulder and those pink sneakers that she was wearing throughout the movie. There was just something totally iconic about that image. And I'm predicting right now it's going to be a very popular cosplay at horror conventions, mark my words. On the downside, though, there are some twists that happen later in the movie that are really predictable, and you will most likely figure them out from the get-go, at least I did. But they aren't like huge twists that the entire movie hinges upon. This isn't like The Sixth Sense, where a huge chunk of that movie and its appeal is the twist. This is way more a situation where the twists also serve as character development for certain characters, so it's still entertaining to watch even if you know it's gonna happen. But I figured I should tell you anyway, because it's the one negative thing I could think of. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, this movie is currently available in theaters, and I recommend that you run, not walk, to the theaters to see it, because it is totally a must-see. And as per usual, I'll include some sort of Amazon affiliate link in the description below, and if you rent or buy or pre-order the movie using that link, then I will get a kickback from it. And one last thing, there is animal death in this movie, but it's mostly cattle animal death, so your mileage may vary with that, and it's not actually shown on screen, it's just implied and talked about. And with that all said, let us finally move on to the spoilers. Alright, so the first big spoiler of this movie is that it turns out the family Samara Weaving is trying to enter, they're actually a satanic cult that sold their soul to this devil years ago in order to get their fortune. And this game of hide and seek they make her play is one of the deals they made with this devil. It's essentially a sacrifice situation. And you all know me, I love myself some creepy cult movies, so I was really happy with that development, but then again, I kind of knew that one going in because that was kind of revealed somewhat in the trailer, or at least heavily implied. But it should say a lot that even though I kind of figured that going into the movie, I still enjoyed the way it played out throughout the film. And I especially enjoyed the question throughout the movie regarding whether or not the devil and the deal were actually real. Because the stakes, as stated in the movie, are that if they don't kill her before sunrise, then something bad's gonna happen to the family. And the whole question throughout the movie is something bad actually gonna happen, or is this some archaic ritual that their ancestors were playing for no goddamn reason because they were superstitious assholes? And I love that the movie plays its cards on that very close to the chest until the very end of the movie when it reveals that yes, the devil is fucking real, and they're all fucked for having lost to Samara Weaving, because they do fucking lose. She fucking destroys them, and it's fucking great! Because at the end of the movie, the sun rises and they fail, and the family's all looking around like, oh no, we're all gonna die! And then nothing happens, and it's like perfect comedic timing, because nothing happens, and then they all look around, and it's like, huh, I guess it wasn't true after all. And then just when you least expect it, they all start exploding into this just, like, ball of gore all over the room. It's hilarious, it's gory, and oh, I fucking loved it. But here's the thing, that is not the twist that I had figured out early on in the movie. In fact, that was the twist that I didn't see coming, because up to that point, I was convinced that, okay, the devil's gonna turn out to not be real, and Egg's gonna be really on their face. No, the twist that I actually did figure out involves Samara Weaving's husband in the movie and her brother played by Adam Brody. And this is where we get into how Adam Brody is actually the heart and soul of the film, so pay attention. So the movie opens up with those two characters as little kids in the 80s, and they watch as their aunt's groom draws the hide-and-seek card and then is being attacked and hunted by the rest of the family. But Adam Brody's character decides to protect his little brother from what's going on and hides him in a closet, but then he runs into the uncle and rats him out to the rest of the family, to fit into the family because that's what his family does and he's scared. We then flash forward 30 years and his brother is getting married to Samara Weaving and Adam Brody is now a drunk. And here's what I predicted really early on and turned out to be true. I kind of predicted from the get-go that his brother was going to turn and join the family and not protect his wife and end up actually like trying to sacrifice her, while Adam Brody was going to turn around and try to save her in the face of his family. And this is what I mean when I say he's the heart and soul of the movie, because he kind of represents the conflict within the family. Do I keep doing this and helping my shitty-ass family, or do I save this innocent girl? And he, of course, chooses to help save the girl, while his brother decides to actually condemn his wife, despite trying to save her for most of the movie, because over the course of the movie, he kind of figures out that, oh shit, she's not going to be with me after this, so I'm going to lose her anyway. And on top of that, her killing my family members is kind of the prediction coming true. Something bad is happening to my family, so even if it is superstitious nonsense, it is still affecting my family, and I don't want that to happen to my family, so he turncoats. And both of those arcs are so interesting that it doesn't really matter that I figured out where they were going early on, because I just enjoyed watching them go on their individual journeys. Just as much as I enjoyed watching Samara Weaving making fucking mincemeat out of this shitty-ass fucking rich piece of shit family. And I also really enjoyed the complicated moral dilemmas that happen throughout the movie. In particular, there's one point in which Samara Weaving runs into one of the little kids, like one of the cousin's kids or something. And this presents this very interesting moral question, and that's this. Okay, so this family is fucked. They've sold their soul to the devil, they're killing innocent people, they are morally corrupt, but they have kids. Are those kids innocent? Or are they damned by virtue of the fact that they're growing up in this environment in which they're being brainwashed by their family, so they are going to contribute eventually, or are contributing currently, to the horrible things that their family is doing. So are they innocent or not? Can they be saved or not? Is it even worth it to ask the question when they're trying to kill you, which is what happens to Samara Weaving, where one of them actually tries to kill her in the name of the family and she has to defend herself. And I also like that it doesn't really matter what she chooses, because in the end, her surviving fucks the family over anyway, including the kids, because the devil is going to have his due. Which is funny, because they also made a movie called Devil's Due. So, ha. But yeah, my fellow gorehounds, if you like dark horror comedies with a whole lot of blood and sarcastic humor and a kick-ass female lead and a whole lot of Adam Brody chewing the scenery in the best ways possible, then you should absolutely see Ready or Not. It is a fantastic film. It's one of my favorites of the year, as I stated earlier, and I can't recommend it enough. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you want to go the Patreon route, which I'll also link in the description below, remember that even $1 a month can go a long way. And before we leave, my fellow gorehounds, I want to announce that we officially finished filming the House by the Cemetery review. I'm really excited about this. I just got a few more voiceovers to record, and then I can really start editing. But one bit of warning, I am going to have to visit my family next month, so I'm hoping to get a lot done before then, but if not, hopefully the video won't be delayed another month, but if it is, that'll be the reason. And you'll probably know when I'm visiting my family because this setup will completely change when I record vlogs for the movies I see that week, so be warned and stay tuned to that. And with that all said, my fellow gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.